Hey guys, it's Janie the God Seeker here. I was looking over some old videos of mine, and the last video I posted was eight years ago. I had 152 views on there, and for the most part, all these were 7 to 8 years ago. Um, I did make a short here, which was probably like 4 years after I had left church. I think it says 4 years later, only 8 views. But I didn't do it for that, right? So I got all these videos from 7, 8 years ago, right? And I did make an update years later to kind of explain the situation, but not too in depth. It was a really short video. All right. So 2009, I got married. I had a baby. 2010, I got saved. Right. Around 2016, um, my ex-wife was unfaithful. Um, 2017, my newborn baby, which she was turning 2 at the time, 2 years old, was very sick, wouldn't eat, wouldn't really sleep or drink or anything. She was just cranky all the time. Her second birthday, we just took her to like an event where there's games, activities, food, candy, cake, cousins and family and stuff like that. It was supposed to be fun. And she was just cranky, cranky, cranky that whole time, just wanted to sleep. So we abandoned the party, took her to the emergency room. She got sick. She almost died, right? During this time, I was going through a lot of things with my ex-wife at the time, and coming to find out my baby has this incurable genetic disease. That's what it is. It's called P10, and you know, and you can see, my works, my testimony, my service in church. I really had a heart for God and to serve, and I didn't expect anything out of it. I didn't want any reward from it. But in my time in need, there was no one there. Like all my, brethren from church, from my old church, from the new church I went to, um, it's just a lot of talk. You know, I had one brother of mine who actually called me, came over to my house, brought me some food. You know what I mean? Came and checked on me, right? When my daughter was in the hospital, she was hospitalized for 3.5 weeks. Nobody showed up. Nobody came and prayed for me or prayed for my daughter, right? Um, and it just seems like out of all my frustration and my sadness, there was points where I was depressed. Like I could have just offed myself. And from someone who was on fire, and you would see it in my works and my Facebook posts or whatever, to someone who just completely did a 180, right? And you ignore this person because you just look at him as anyone else. Oh, he's church hurt, right? Oh, we'll just pray for him, right? But if I would have fucking killed myself, then what? Nobody would have said shit, right? Or they would have said, "Oh, we should do better. We should have reached out to him. Oh, where were the signs?" It was all over my fucking Facebook feed, right? Um, there's so much more to say and much more in-depth things. Um, and I'm not using it as an excuse. I'm using it as awareness. I'm using it to point the finger because the church fails all the time. And the reason why I'm still here is because of God. It wasn't because of a building. It wasn't because of church and people. It wasn't that. Because that's not the reason why I first went to church to begin with. But over the years, you see a lot. And from the outside looking in, you see a lot. And I think, I can blame the devil and I can blame God for whatever happened. But I'm here now. And even more powerful. I have more potential now. So I'm not surprised when people look at me and they hate and they have their own judgment and opinions of me because they think they have it figured out. You don't. And I'm really going to call every one of you out. And that's the truth there. And it's not out of hate, because I hate, Christians, or I hate the church. No, I don't. There's no hate at all. It's more of a disappointment. It's more of a... It's like the people who supposedly supposed to love abandon you. And all I had left was God. It's all I ever had all my life. And I'm not discouraging anyone not to go to church, or, to have fellowship with other people, but I really can't justify why you should. But I guess for the very few, there are very few that you can learn from and actually, benefit from having a relationship with, especially if it draws you nearer to God, to Jesus. And I thank God for that foundation that I laid, which is Christ. Because without that, I would have really crumbled and would be unrepairable. Probably wouldn't even be here physically. But that's why I have this frustration for Christians, because I was dying, and nobody came and checked on me.